Zechariah, I am zealous for Zion. Zechariah 1 through 14:21, Lesson 5. Part 1. Introduction. 1. With this final lesson on the book of Zechariah, we come to the second of two burdens which make up the last 6 chapters. The first burden was against Israel's enemies, though it also speaks of Israel's hope for the future. Zechariah 9:1 and 2 and 9 and 10. This second burden is against Israel herself, though it too speaks of a glorious future for Jerusalem. Zechariah 12:1 and 14:8 through 11. 2. As previously mentioned, these last chapters are among the most difficult in the Bible. Some look for literal fulfillment of what is described, concluding it has yet to come. Others suggest this section is figurative and is fulfilled with the coming of Christ and his kingdom, the church. 3. I confess I am challenged by this section of Scripture. What I will do in this lesson is briefly survey the main points presented in Zechariah's prophecy. Offer some thoughts as to what this prophecy refers to. The future of Jerusalem. The Lord's care for Jerusalem. 1. Jerusalem is depicted in some future time as under siege by the nations. Zechariah 12:1 through 9. 2. In that day, 12:3 and 4, the Lord will use Jerusalem, as a cup of drunkenness to all the surrounding peoples. As a very heavy stone for all peoples, like Jerusalem, will be a means by which God judges the nations. 3. In that day, 12:6, 8, and 9, the Lord will defend Jerusalem and destroy her enemies. The Lord's cleansing for Jerusalem. 1. Cleansed from her sins, Zechariah 12:10 through 13:6. The Lord will pour out on Jerusalem the spirit of grace and supplication. They will look on him whom they have pierced and mourn in that day, 12:11, as they did when Josiah died. 2 Chronicles 35:20 through 25. In that day, 13:1, 2, and 4, the Lord will 1. Open a foundation for sin and for uncleanliness. 2. Cut off the idols from the land. 3. Cause the prophets and unclean spirit to depart from the land, prompting parents to kill their sons who dare to prophesy. Those who prophesy to be ashamed and admit they are not prophets. 2. Refined through persecution. Zechariah 13:7 through 9. The shepherd will be struck and his sheep scattered. Matthew 26:31 through 32. The Lord will use this to refine and test the people of God. Hebrews 12:3 through 11. The Lord's deliverance for Jerusalem. 1. The day of the Lord is coming when the Lord will gather all the nations to battle against Jerusalem. Zechariah 14:1 through 3. The city will be taken and rifled, the women ravished. Half of the city shall go into captivity, but a remnant will not be cut off. 2. But then the Lord go forth and fight against the nations. Zechariah 14:4 through 7. He will stand on the Mount of Olives, which will cause a great valley. Though through the valley the people will flee for safety. In that day, 14:6, there will be no light until evening. The Lord's glory for Jerusalem. 1. What is said of Jerusalem in that day? Zechariah 14:8 and 9, and Zechariah 14:8 through 11. Living water shall flow from Jerusalem, both east and west, summer and winter. The Lord will be king over all the earth. The land from Geba, 6 miles northeast of Jerusalem, to Rimmon, 35 miles southwest of Jerusalem, will be turned into plain, while Jerusalem will be built up and safely inhabited. 2. What is said of Jerusalem's enemies in that day? 14:13. A. The Lord will strike them with a plague. B. The Lord will send a great panic among them. C. Judea will fight for Jerusalem with the wealth of the nations gathered. D. The plague will afflict even the animals. 3. What is said of Jerusalem in that day? 14:20 and 21. Continued. A. Those of the nations which remain will worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and keep the feasts of tabernacles. B. Those who do not will experience drought and the plague. C. Holiness to the Lord will be engraved on the bells of the horses. See Exodus 28:36 through 38. D. The pots in Jerusalem and Judea shall be holiness to the Lord of hosts. E. There shall no longer be a Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. Can you see why it has been said that these last 6 chapters are among the most difficult in the Bible? What is this talking about? Has it been fulfilled? This ends part 1 of Zechariah, I am zealous for Zion, lesson 5.